Let me guess. Summer's right next door. You've seen way too many David Lade edits. And you finally want to transform your physique into a more aesthetic figure? Well, I'm here to help you with exactly that. Today, we'll be covering into how to transform your slobby ass physique into a sick fucking cunt physique. No harm towards your physique, of course, I'm sure it's perfectly respectable. Let's start off. First of all, our aesthetic cat. We'll call him Whiskers, because I had no better name. Whiskers is one of the sickest cunts that exists and mugs everyone. He of course has predisposed genetics that make him superior to everyone else. He's tall, he's a Chad light, and he just looks freaking good. But we need to pick these factors apart to actually understand what is the science behind aesthetics. So, our first step in obtaining an aesthetic physique is actually the clavicles. Now, clavicles are gonna give you a whole frame, and it looks way better when you have wider clavicles than narrow clavicles. Then comes your ab cage. Here's not much to say, it can slightly hurt your physique, and also with that comes your ab insertions. You know, they're not always perfect. We forgive you, don't worry, nature has all blessed us differently. And finally comes your waist, which is really gonna be able to define that V taper, you know? You heard? So Whiskers has a perfect V taper, or the Dorito physique if you prefer. And so now let's compare this to just another random gym bro. This is Big Buff Bill. Big Buff Bill lifts every day, takes a heap ton of steroids, but is still way less aesthetic than Whiskers, who's getting all of the girls, and Big Buff Bill is getting absolutely no hoes. Why is this? Well, here's what it is. First of all, he's got clavicles that are more narrow than Whiskers. Then, his thoracic cage is just below his clavicles, which already makes him look like a block. But if that wasn't enough, his waist is absolutely massive. And you know what else is massive? Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I can't be carrying on that meme into the big 26. But this physique makes him resemble a refrigerator because it's all squared up, and since there's not much shape to it, well, it makes him look unaesthetic compared to Whiskers. And on top of that, since he doesn't train legs, well, he probably has toothpicks instead. Before we move on, why should you even be aesthetic? You know, on top of the benefits like health, looking good, being proud of yourself, etc. Let's talk about why aesthetics matter on a physique. So first of all, look at this picture. Would you rather be David Lade or be one of these two physiques? Now, they might be a little bit in the extremes, but most people aren't far from that, you know? They're further from the David Lade physique than the skinny guy or the huge body. So, here's some real reasons that you should actually be aesthetic. So, first of all, first reason is gonna be confidence. If you know you're aesthetic and that the science proves it, well then confidence just comes naturally, my friend. Next, discipline. Your physique is not only a reflection of the fact that, you know, you have a pretty face and you look good. It shows that you have worked for it and that you're someone that actually takes care of your body. Showing off the hard work is literally a proof that you're a hard worker. And finally, respect. Because guess what? If you look somewhat attractive and aesthetic, you're gonna gain way more respect than if you're a fat fucking shunt. Science proves it. Now if that didn't convince you, here's 100 more reasons. Do with them what you must. Back to where we were. Sadly, a lot of your aesthetics depends on genetics. And if you're over 21, you can't really grow much more. Your bones have probably finished settling in place, and you know, your clavicles aren't gonna go from narrow to wide overnight. But, big fat but, you can change your body through physical exercise, and even a bad looking figure in itself can look good just by going to the gym. So doesn't that change everything, guys? I honestly think it changes everything. Here we'll be going through the best exercise you can do right now to actually prepare yourself for this summer to come. First of all, let's talk about frame. The exercise that has the most probability at making your frame a few millimeters bigger is actually going to be a lat pullover. Don't ask me why, I just watched plenty of YouTube videos and apparently It helps with your rib cage expansion because you're applying pressure to it while doing the exercise, and your ribs push out directly on your clavicles, which makes your frame bigger, not by a whole amount. Then we have our seated lateral raises. So I find these pretty good, especially when you decline the bench and you point your pinky upwards when you do it, so you keep the tension on the shoulders, and from here to here it's just straight tension, which is gonna help you develop your shoulders a whole lot. And then finally we've got our press movement, which is just a basic Smith machine overhead press, which is gonna be very great at, well, just developing your shoulders. And on top of that, you gotta hit shoulders and back obviously as often as you can, especially your lats, which are gonna be able to flare out your shoulders and give you a bigger frame. Now after frame, we have our midsection. So, how to camouflage that belly you've got? Well, it ain't gonna fix itself, so you gotta hit abs. I'll recommend that you do what suits you best. So for me personally, I think that these two exercises are the best because they target lower abs, and many people have, the top abs defined, but their lower abs aren't defined enough. And so these are just gonna be standing leg raises and a dragon flag. And dragon flag actually tops into our next exercise, which is obliques, which is actually gonna try to make your waist a little narrower. So for our waist, well, our first step is actually gonna be get lean. So I'm not gonna give you a full course on that, because plenty of people explain better than me, how to cut and how to get shredded by eating the right foods. I can only give you basic tips like being in a calorie deficit, but I think everybody knows that in our mainstream media. So I'm just gonna give you oblique exercises that you can follow here, which are gonna be simple cable pull from the top to bottom while keeping the control right here on your obliques. And then windscreen wipers, which are basically like leg raise. You tilt your legs to the side and try to control it with your obliques. And that concludes how to get aesthetic. Thank you very much for your attention, guys. Hit the subscribe button down below.